Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to another edition of Oliver Twist. I'm going to continue with chapter 11 of Oliver Twist, which is In Which New Friends and Old Enemies Appear. Here we go. It was not such a great coincidence that Fagin and Monks should meet all those months ago. The Cricket Arms was the greatest haunt in all of London. Thugs and villains. Stolen property changed hands there. Dirty deals were agreed there. Weapons were loaded and plots hatched, booty picked over, and bribes paid. Both men and women got drunk and fights broke out, while the innkeeper just watched and listened and smiled and poured pints and held his peace. For a year now, Fagin and Monks had shared a secret, and that secret concerned Oliver. He had better not be dead. I never wanted him dead, Monks. Ruined, but not dead. That's all I said. All may be well, my dear, Fagin soothed him. All may still be well. There is nothing in the papers about the body. You mean he may be alive? Gasped Monks. Worse and worse. In the candlelight, his scared face worked itself into grotesque grimaces. A vivid red scar on his neck burned hotly. Worse and worse. Now, my dear, there is no point in starting at shadows. Let us take a little jaunt, eh? A jaunt in the countryside. It would do us both good to breathe a little country air for a few weeks. There was a chilly draught, and a stronger smell of drains trickled in. Fagin's eyes darted to the opening door. Why, Nancy, my dear, where have you been keeping yourself? How is my dear friend Mr. Sykes? The girl was white-faced and weary. Not good, Fagin. Cold and wet, he was after that. Night out. Caught a fever. I've sat up with him all day and all night. When he wakes, he won't eat, only drink. He sent me here for beer, while fearful low in cash, Fagin. She eyed Monks. Any news of little Oliver? What? No, not at all, my dear. But you know what they say? No news is good news. We all miss him. I cannot wait to have him back by my side. And that's the truth. Weeks slipped by, spring gave way to summer, and Oliver's soul unfurled like one of the cornfield poppies. Only one thought troubled his peaceful days, that of Mr. Brownlow. He was so good to me. If only I could explain how things were. He must think that I stole his books and money. Perhaps he even hates me. Hush, Oliver. When you are quite well again, we shall go to London and find your Mr. Brownlow. And no one in the world shall think badly of you. Oh, may we? Cried Oliver. How wonderful it would be to see the dear, kind gentleman again. Oh, thank you, Miss Rose. Thank you. With such prospects in mind, Oliver could not settle to his reading book that day. There was birdsong. It was hot. The sun shone through in the window, making the pages too bright. Oliver closed his eyes and dozed. It was the kind of doze so shallow that he could still hear the birds, the church bell chiming, the poppy heads popping and letting fall their seeds. He heard voices outside, and the sunlight no longer fell on his face. But Oliver was too much asleep to open his eyes. In fact, he knew he must be dreaming, because all at once he was in London again, in Fagin's kitchen, hearing Fagin's voice. Is that him, my dear? By all that stinks and rots and bleeds, it must be him. It has to be. It is. He is the image of his wretched mother. Calm yourself, my dear, or your illness will come upon you. It would not do. Not here. Not now. Come away. Oliver's blood ran cold. His eyes opened, and there, within touching distance, was Fagin's beaky, sallow face, his shock of rust-red hair. Beside him stood a young man, his scared face as white and crumpled as a dirty paper, from spattering his lips. Oliver gave a shriek, and the faces were gone. Like a nightmare, they melted away. The sun splashed back into Oliver's face, and he stumbled to his feet. "Come quick, it's Fagin," he called, but his voice was trapped in his terrified throat. "Come quick, help!" he shouted. And then, doubting the proof of his own eyes, he leapt through the window and stared about him at an empty garden. They searched every bush and tree for Fagin or the man with the crumpled face and the vivid red scar, but found no trace. "I didn't dream it, truly," cried Oliver. "I'm not lying." "I believe you," Rose Maylie assured him. But there was nothing to be done. The strange encounter so unnerved the boy, however, that Rose was determined at once to embark for London to search for Mr. Brownlow. As the horse cab pulled up outside the house in Pentonville, Oliver was dizzy with excitement. But all the windows were shuttered and no one came to the door. He tried to squint between the blinds, at least to glimpse the beautiful portrait once more. But inside, everything was bare and empty, and only shadows remained. Mr. Brownlow and Mrs. Bedwin had moved away. "Do not abandon hope just yet, Rose," Rose comforted Oliver. "We shall put up at a hotel until we learn news of them. If they are still in the country, we shall find them, Oliver. My word on it." And that's the end of chapter 11. Again, tune in tomorrow for chapter 12, which is in which Nancy is true to her word. We'll see what happens if Oliver manages to find the pair tomorrow. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.